I have many plans because I'm not a guest Rinpoche or a guest teacher. And I don't plan on flying in, staying for a little while, giving some little rituals, initiations, some purifications, some blessings, throw some rice, and then fly back to my kingdom of snow. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to be here for a long time. So the program that I have in Kichara House is not drive-through express McDonald's Dharma. What do I mean by drive-through express McDonald's Dharma? Is just go in there, get initiation, get a ritual, get a blessing from a High Lama, and then my whole life will change. Everything will be fabulous. I'll get a lot of money, and I'll be wonderful, and then no problems ever again. Well, if there's any High Lamas that can do that for you, let me know. I'd like to go with you. Problems cannot be solved by me. I'm not a god. Okay? Problems can only be solved by you and me if we have knowledge. And we understand where the problems come from. And we understand how the problems arise. And when we understand where the real problem comes from, not perceived source, but genuine source. If we know where the problems arise from, and we recognize it, and we apply what we have learned towards the problem, then the problems, although may still be there, but we won't suffer. And when we don't suffer, and we don't get frustrated as much and angry, and we don't jump up and down and make noise and break things and really just show a lot of anger, we make a lot of people around us very happy. People who throw massive anger fits or get very frustrated or create problems for others or take it out on others is because they themselves are suffering. They don't know where the problem comes from. They think they know, because if they really knew, they would be problem-free. So no religion, no God, no Lama, no monk, no priest, no pastor can take your problem and my problem away. And if anybody tells you that, I'm so sorry, you have to prove it to me first. I've been around for 46 years. Yes, I'm that young. And I haven't seen anyone take my problem away or anybody else's problem. But you know what? There are spiritual enlightened masters all around the world, like Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, you name it. There are many awakened masters who at different periods of time have appeared in different existences. One is Earth, who give us different beautiful messages to practice. And if you happen to like this messenger of peace, Buddha, fine. Fine. I happen to follow the messenger of peace, Buddha. It doesn't mean I deny all the other messengers. No, I don't. But I also know that Buddha can't take my problems away. I also know any other messenger cannot take my problems away. Because you know what? The whole world's been praying for thousands of years and we still have problems. I've been praying my whole life, I still have problems. But I'll tell you what's the difference. The difference is this. I'm able to take my problems better and not create more problems for myself and others. And that has been the secret. So what I have to offer you today and in the future, I have no miracles. I'm not Sai Baba. I can't make things manifest out of the earth. I can't fly. I don't have clairvoyance. I'm not a Superman. I'm just a little bit better than you because I've been a monk for over 20 years. But it doesn't mean I'm a better person than you. I'm just better because I pursued this for a long time. So what do I have to offer to all of you? Knowledge. Knowledge that I've acquired for the last 30 years. You see, for the last 30 to 35 years of my life, I've dedicated to Buddha's teachings. Since I was very young in Howell, New Jersey. Since I was very, very young in Howell, New Jersey, I've dedicated. I didn't do all the things that everybody else can do around here. I didn't do all the things that people can do to have fun in their youths. I didn't do all the things that you guys can do, and then when you're old, you can do Dharma. I gave up everything. at a very young age to engage in Dharma practice. So seriously, at 16, 15, everything. I didn't get my parents' support. I didn't get financial support. I didn't get any support from relatives or any friends, nobody. I left home to become a monk. I left home to find my teacher. I left home to join a monastery. And I left home to become ordained. And you know what? In December 1987, I was ordained. And I am ordained, and I will stay ordained for the rest of my life. And I have zero regrets, because now that I'm this young, I am so glad I didn't pursue a lot of things that my other friends pursued. Because now a lot of them are telling me they're depressed, they're unhappy, their kids are monsters, they have a lot of money, they don't know what to do with it. I did tell them, give it to me. But they're just kind of stuck, no offense to anyone. I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I wish I was able to do it earlier. My point, I have pursued the spiritual path. And in this case, Buddhism. And Buddhism is not better than any other religion, but it's the best one for me. It's not the best one for everyone, but it's the best one for me. And perhaps some of you. Now, I have pursued the spiritual path for the last 30 years of my life. The last 30 years, that's what I've been doing. Following my teachers, living at Dharma centers, living in the monastery, receiving teachings. Thousands and thousands of hours I've spent at the feet of my holy teachers. Below their thrones, listening to their teachings, writing notes, meditating, doing retreats. I did that. And my parents never supported me once. None of my relatives supported me. No one even dropped me a letter years ago. Hey, we support you. I was alone. Am I telling you that to feel sorry for me? No, I'm telling you that, look, I'm serious about what I'm doing. I'm sitting on this throne, not simply because I was given a title in a monastery. I'm sitting on this throne, maybe it's because I've shown some sincerity in my practice and my pursuits. So I have been sent by the monastery to come to beautiful Malaysia, which I've made wonderful friends. Most of my friends are wonderful. There's a few monsters, but most of them are wonderful. I didn't say I'm holy schmoly either, but anyways, everywhere you go, there are wonderful people and a few monsters hanging around. My perception, of course. Not necessarily true. Now, and I'm here to stay long term. Hence, the way I have Kichar House going, the way I have Kichar House operating is different than every other center in this country, Tibetan-based. Let me explain why. Because I'm here to stay, so I can give you a long-term program, training, education, understanding. You see, I'm not here to get money from you to build something in India. I'm not here to raise funds from you so that I can send it to Nepal or Tibet or some other country that you'll never visit. I'm here with all of you. So therefore, I plan on training people in Sutra. I plan on training people in the higher teachings in Tantra. In fact, this year, I will start giving Tantric Initiations. Just the other day, with my assistant, Feng Kui, I've already picked out about 25, 30 names that will be receiving initiation from me. Who they are, you will not know, so there is no jealousy. But I feel they're ready, because there are commitments that come along with it. And then I will be training up pastors. Why? I do not believe I'm the only one with the power, if I have any power. Okay? I believe that any of us who practice Dharma, and we sincerely have a good motivation, we can bless people, we can teach, we can disseminate, we can help, we can do rituals. I believe that sincerely. Why? I may have a big title, and I may sit on a big throne in Ganden Monastery, but when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just another good-looking fat monk. I stress the good-looking part. You see, you need to subliminally implant that in people so they start believing you are good looking. Now, so I'm going to ordain pastors this year. I've chosen a few. We created the uniforms, and they will be lay people who can have marriage, who can have relationships, just like anybody else, but they hold the 5 layman's vows. And they will train to study the Dharma more intently, to learn the rituals, to give teachings, give talks. Why? Because one day I will die. One day I will go bye-bye. One day. So this all has to continue. How do we make it continue? By training up the local people. Why can we train up the local people? The local people, or any people, is just as good as any Tibetan. Maybe even better sometimes. So therefore, I plan on training up pastors. Definitely. And I plan on ordaining people. In fact, today, on the way in, I talked to one of my students who has committed that she will become a nun. Beautiful. And this time, it's a fully ordained nun, which I will send this beautiful lady to India, to my teachers, to receive the vows of a nun. So this year in Kichara, most likely, you will see a nun arise. And then another one, and another one, and another one. I had a conversation with Henry a few days ago. It's a little private, but never mind, he can sue me. And I just said to Henry, when your kids are a little older and they're getting there, I would like you to become a monk, and maybe even your wife to become a nun. Before I can finish my sentence, Henry says, I definitely want that, Rinpoche. I want my beautiful wife and me to end our life in doing Dharma, Dharma practice, Dharma retreats. So Henry will send a very powerful message to everybody. We can start our lives enjoying ourselves. We can end our lives reaching heaven. So I have people more and more committed now. So this year I will be ordaining pastors. I have the great privilege to do that. I will give the vows myself. And then I will, in the future, allow the pastor to give vows to other pastors and create more pastors. What's a pastor? A lay teacher. Then eventually, I will have the pastors give refuge. Give refuge, but I will teach them how. I have that plan. That's long term. Along with that, I will be initiating a few people this year into 2 sacred practices that I received from His Holiness Kyabje Sangren Rinpoche. One will be Chenezik, Kuan-yin Ngesung Kundro. And this Chenezik has an entourage of Tara and Ekazati. So you get 3 in 1. That's a Kichara house thingy, 3 in 1. Now, they will be initiated to Ngesung Kundro. What's Ngesung Kundro? Let me explain. No matter how sinful you have been in this life, if you do this practice, it will defer taking rebirth into a negative realm for 1 lifetime. Again, in your next life, you will be born in a very powerful capacity to practice, to purify. So for 1 lifetime, you are guaranteed not taking rebirth in any of the 3 lower realms. That's what Kyabje Sangren Rinpoche told us. So he gave me the commitment over 23 years ago. I have not broken my commitment even once. I've been doing the practice every single day. So therefore, it gives me the qualification to pass it on to others. But it takes a 5 to 6 hour ritual to do it. And then once the person does it, you have to recite the Mani mantra 1 round every day for life. Hold your bodhisattva vows. If you do that, you will be safe. I will be giving that this year to selected few. How do I select? People who take their assignments seriously, people who do their work seriously, people who do their job seriously, people who do their volunteering seriously, people who are steady and they really do it. They don't run away. They don't, make excuses. Their mind is very steady. They'll receive that practice. Why do I look at that? Because for this practice, you need your mind to be steady. For this practice, you need to make sacrifices. For this practice, you need to give up some attachments. If you don't give up attachments, you don't give up your comfort zone, how will you get higher practices? You see, people have a misconception. When you get the tantric practice, then you start practicing renunciation and non-attachment. Wrong. You have to practice that before you receive initiation. so that when you receive initiation, it will be very smooth. Example, do you learn how to drive when you get your new car, in your new car on the highway? No. You learn how to drive before you get your new car so that when you get your new car, you don't smash it up. Very simple. So you don't get Chenrezig initiation and then start practicing when you get it. You have to practice beforehand. I will have classes here for Bodhisattva vows, and there will be a video that I have already recorded that will be played on the screen here for those selected for the initiation. And on top of that, the second initiation that I am very honored to give everyone that I have chosen, will be a very small group, is Trokpa Sumchi, who is renowned for arresting heart problems, incurable diseases. Diseases having to do with ailments that are very difficult to heal. Because Trokpa Sumchi has a type of mantra and practice that moves your body's chi in such a way, it will help it to repair itself. I've had a few students who've had serious heart murmurs and problems. After doing the practice, no more. I didn't create the miracle. I just have the method. So therefore, Trokpa Sumchi will be a very powerful practice for people who have life-threatening diseases, or they have heart problems, or they have very serious health problems. And if they do this practice very well, they will heal. And they will become better. That does not mean you don't go for medical practice, or medical attention and medical help. It's in combination. So I'll be giving that in the near future this year. If you're a tourist that just comes into the center sometimes when you're convenient and sometimes you won't be chosen for that. Why? Because that requires higher training. If you're devoted, you are part of the center. You are steady. You do what you promised. I don't want to hear excuses anymore from people. Well, my dog couldn't eat my ego, so I still have my ego. I'll see you next year, Rinpoche. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Why? For the people who've made excuses, I've got a lot of new people coming to replace you. So you're going to fall behind. Is that a threat? Yes. I know I'm not the traditional nice monkey monk. I'm just a monkey monk, not a nice monk. I'm quite direct and I'm quite open. But I think you guys appreciate that because you know what? Sometimes the package is no frills, but inside's got a lot. I hope that came out right. Let me have my Coca-Cola while you watch me drink. No, I don't drink Tibetan tea often. I like Coca-Cola. Hence, I'm 155,000 kgs. Now, and some people write that, on my blog. Oh, Rinpoche, maybe you should slim down. I write back, maybe you should mind your own business. I mean, you're coming to me for Dharma. You're not coming to me because I'm the latest couture model for Versace, right? I was, but not anymore. Come on. I mean, look at the beauty I have inside of me. Look inside for my beauty. I want you guys to learn to look for the beauty inside. Stop looking for the beauty outside. Inside. I know some of you are thinking, no choice, we have to look for your beauty inside. It's got a lot to look for. Yes, so I'm trying to teach everybody to look for the inner. Irene's giving me that. Aren't we here for refuge? So I have long-term plans. I will create pastors. I will create local people who will explain the Dharma from their hearts, who will give initiations in the future, who will give practices, who will give refuge. I will do that because I believe in equal opportunity. I believe. And I'm here to stay long term, so I don't have to teach you all the Buddha's teachings in one day, one session, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'll take my time because I'm here to stay. So therefore, in our center, we have activities all throughout the week, months, and year because we're here to stay. We're not a center that opens once a month, once every 3 months, once every 4 months. A Rinpoche shows up, hee hee ha ha, 50 people show up, throw some rice. I got initiation of Dorji, holy rainbow, and I have a rainbow body. I'm practicing Poa, Moa, Smoa. And then the hype dies. And then everybody runs to the airport to receive the Rinpoche. And then everybody fights, take him out, eat with him, have lunch with him, and offer the biggest ang pao. Oh, you can bribe me, yes. The biggest ang pao. And then the Rinpoche gives blessings, throws rice, throws holy things, do a very sacred initiation. He talks in Tibetan, so you know what he's saying. He could be chanting, I want to go home, I'm tired, I want to go home. You don't know. And after he chants in Tibetan, which you won't understand one single word, I want to go home, I want to go home, it's so hot in Malaysia, I want to go home, I want to go home. And then he throws rice. Then you go, oh, geez, that was fabulous. You see, I'm not interested in rituals and initiations just to draw the crowd, just to get the sponsors in, just to attract the money to go bigger. Yes, I need money to go bigger. You see, I'm not a businessman. In Tibet, in the Buddhist countries, you sponsor the monks, you sponsor the Sangha, you don't make conditions. You don't say it this way, that way. You offer up if you believe this monk can do it. And the monk will do it. All this came from sponsors, what? All my money is controlled by my liaisons most of the time. What's my point? My point is, I need the money. I need the help. If you're sincere, give it to me. Don't make conditions. Don't talk. Don't go round and round. Just give it. Give me the money. Tonight, now. I take credit cards. Seriously, I have long-term plans. Because I'm going to make Dharma grow. I'm not young. I'm not old. I'm perfect right now. So if you support me now, I'm perfect. Don't support me when I'm 80. I can't see you. What? What? You're gonna give me $50 million? Wow, is that rupiah? What's the point? Now. Now, what am I trying to say? Our center has programs all the time because we're here to stay. And our center is here to educate. Educate who? The Buddhists or people who are interested. So they become better citizens in our beautiful country. That's what our goal is. In our center, we're not so interested in miracles. Although there are miracles, we're not so interested in people who have psychic powers. You got psychic powers? You want to have a psychic contest with me? You want to see whose third eye is open wider? Do you really want to test my psychic powers? Because if you do, I'm going to lose, so don't. I don't have any psychic powers. You know why? Psychic powers don't help me. Animals have psychic powers. If there's an earthquake, animals all run away 1 week ahead. They know there's going to be an earthquake. What I do? Go prostrate to a beaver? You have psychic powers. I take refuge in beaver. I mean, animals can run away if there's an earthquake. They all know. What are you, a gypsy woman from Bavaria? You know, I'm not interested in psychic powers. I'm not interested in your psychic abilities. What I'm interested in is if you have a very kind heart. If you treat your wife like a queen. If you treat your husband like a king. If you're setting a good example for your children. Are you doing Dharma work? Are you doing charity work? Are you helping the people who are underprivileged? That's what I'm interested in. That's what Buddhism's all about. It doesn't mean Buddhist teachers and masters and Buddhist people don't have spiritual power. There is. I know my teachers did, and I saw it with my own eyes. I know they do. But you see, that's not what I'm here to teach. Because I don't want a room full of people who walk in going, I can see spirits. And then your neighbor here is like, well, I can talk to animals. And then the other guy behind, well, you know, I can float. And the one in front says, I can control the weather. And the whole room is just talking, it's like some kind of weird clairvoyance convention. Clairvoyance is not bad. It doesn't not exist. It exists. But right now at our level, you know what we need? We need peace. We need peace. We need to know how to solve our problems. We need to have a good outlook with the people around us. We need to make people around us very happy. We need to make ourselves very happy. We need to develop those qualities. That's what we really need. So therefore, if you're interested in developing good qualities, understanding the Dharma, and knowing how to approach yourself and others in a much better way, not that you're bad, then you're at the right center. If you're interested in POA, flying to another planet, psychic powers and all that, you're at the wrong center. Why are you at the wrong center? Because here, we want to develop genuine, compassionate people who love the earth, who love animals, who love each other, who respect their parents, who respect elders, who are law-abiding citizens. That's what we want. Yes, you can do it in another way. You can do it your own way. You can do it without us. Of course you can. This is not the only way. But that's what our intent is in Kichara House. I'm not here to convert the whole country to Buddhism. No, I'm not here to do that. Being a Buddhist by name is more detrimental than not being a Buddhist. So, I have long-term plans. I want to build a huge retreat center in this country where we can go up there and practice alternative healings, alternative art, alternative relaxations. I want it to be educational, not to convert the place, but to convert materialism into something deeper. I want to create that place. We got a beautiful piece of land. Yeah, it's a little secret, but the secret's out. We got a beautiful piece of land somewhere not far from here. I forgot. Don't ask me the area, the name. Was it Kenny Hills? Was it Bangsa? Was it Dhammasara Heights, the real Dhammasara? Let me see. Oh, I can't remember. Somewhere wonderful. We got a little piece of land. And we plan on moving this whole organization to that piece of land. We plan on building a few stories because we're going to move all the departments there. And we're going to have our gompa there. We're going to have our chapel there. We're going to have our Vajrayogini stuff there in the city. We want to build this huge gompa like this, but much bigger to suit more people, to have a bigger hall because we can't fit anymore. We want to be there, and we want to have different departments. We want to feed the poor. We want to take care. We want to expand. So we want to do that. We got that piece of land. Right now, we don't have any money for it. And trust me, when I talk to Setra, he goes like this to me because all I ever ask for is money. And that's why he's so pissed off. Look. All right, I won't talk to you today, lah. He's always giving me that, it'll come, just wait. Just kidding, don't get me. Yeah, I want to build that. And I've got 19 beautiful liaisons who are totally dedicated full-time to Dharma work, who will build this place for us. But we got one teeny little problem. We looked at our bank account, it was zero. But it's okay, it's never stopped us before. So why am I talking about this? Because a little later, we're going to be passing over our little baskets to you. But in our case, we don't pass baskets like in a church, we pass a bucket. Fill it up! Well, when I get money, when and if I get money, that's the next project I'm going to do. I'm going to build up this huge place and move this whole organization over because it's too small, just way too small. Traffic and all that stuff. And I move there, and we're going to have all our departments there. And that's what I really want to do. You see, what I want to do with the rest of my life is do Dharma. That I can sincerely tell you. All the other stuff, all jokes aside, this is what I want to do. Now, so I'm here to stay. I'm here to have a program that's long-term. And I'm here to look for long-term people who want to join a long-term program of spirituality. I'm not looking for people who want instant initiation, everything's fine. You see, our center is different than other centers. There's nothing wrong with other centers, nothing wrong. Our center is different than other centers because they don't have a resident teacher, with the deepest respect. So therefore, when the teacher comes, they got to fit in their whole program. At the end of the program, the teacher faints and they faint. Everybody faints. Here, we take our sweet time. We go, we sleep at 10, wake up at 6, do our meditation, come here and do our thing. We're very holy. Please don't laugh that loud. You know what they say. The more you say it, it becomes the truth. No. So that's what our center is about. That's the difference in our center. And then people always ask, how come Kichara grows so fast? How come it's so phenomenal? How come it's just expanding so much? Because I think people are realizing that we're here to stay. We're here to have a long-term program. We're here to create spiritual people. We're not out to convert people, but we're here to create spiritual people who are interested. And we have over 110 full-time staff. And those are people who have the fortune and the privilege to work for Dharma and work to serve others. Any other job can never compare. Any other job cannot compare. So therefore, today is 3 holidays in one. Everyone or anyone who studied Buddhism a little bit will understand a fully enlightened mind, an awakened being. An awakened being, an enlightened being has full control of where they will go, stay, abide. Shakyamuni was no different. Tsongkhapa was no different. When you arrest the full potential of your mind, you will control your destiny. No God, gods, deity, person will control your destiny. They could never control your destiny. You will control your destiny. Now, on this day, 2,500 years ago, Buddha chose to take rebirth on purpose. Everybody knows the story. And there were many miraculous signs prior to birth and during birth and after birth. Prior to birth, Maya Devi, his holy mother, had so many dreams, of which one was a baby elephant descending from Tushi to heaven with 6 tusks, white, with a trunk up, entering her side, entering into her womb. And when it entered into her womb, she was calm and very happy. And she had this dream and this kind of dreams repeatedly. She dreamt the gods of the realm of the 33, the gods and demigods, used to come down and wash her body and dress her and prepare her for a special guest. You have to understand, she was pretty special herself, all right? She's not special just because she gave birth to something special. She herself was pretty special. She had these incredible dreams all the time. And before she gave birth, many soothsayers, many powerful beings that time had predicted a superhuman will take rebirth, an awakened one, a Buddha. And when the time came, with no pain, Maya Devi went to the Sala grove. And with her right hand holding up a Sala tree, Lord Buddha issued forth from her right side painlessly, golden, dazzling lights. Immediately it said Brahma, Vishnu, Krishna, Brahma, Vishnu. All these gods and their entourage came down and bathed the Buddha and washed the Buddha. And the earth shook 7 times as a portent of a superhuman being taking rebirth. It is reported. Even now, certain high lamas who take rebirth in Tibet, you see those signs. It is not a joke. I'm talking about these days. There'll be immediately a slight earth tremor. I'm not talking about the Japanese one. That one's a disaster, I'm sorry. I'm talking about a light tremor will happen in that area. Rainbows will appear over the house of the child, even today. Now, when he was issued forth, Buddha walked in the 4 cardinal directions and raised his hands up to the sky and said, "This will be my last rebirth. This will be the last rebirth I take in samsara as a being who is not awakened. And I will liberate countless before I enter parinirvana." He chose this day to take rebirth. He chose the same day, 30 plus years later. It varies from different traditions. Some say 35, some say 32, some say 36, that he attained enlightenment on the same day. Then at 81, on the same day, he chose to enter nirvana. He gave his last teaching to his close disciples who was weeping away, the arhats and the sangha who has grown to the thousands, as he laid on his right side with his ring finger covering his right nose, laying down on the side, about to enter nirvana, and gave the last teaching on impermanence and the cessation of suffering. And he entered into nirvana. Very high lamas today still pass away in the same manner. Control on the right side, laying down. Last year, the year before, we had one old monk in Ganden Monastery. He went to early morning meditation puja. The monks called me and told me, because they told me this old monk had passed away. He went for early morning meditation and puja. He went back to his room. He cleaned his shrine. He has a small shrine, and he made fresh water offerings to the Buddha. And then he sat down in his bed and went into meditation and died. And then his body did not decompose. It did not smell. But from his stomach region, from the body, sweat, I don't know how you call it, chapa, sweat, thousands and thousands of small pills came out. And everybody went to get it. And those who take the pill experience some kind of happiness, some experience some kind of healing. Thousands of pills. This was just last year. Monks don't lie. The monastery doesn't lie. My friend has no reason to lie to me because it's not even his teacher. They witnessed this last year. 2 years back, 3 years back, one High Lama also passed away in South India in the monastery, and he stayed in death meditation for 1 month without decomposition. The Indian news came, Tibetan doctors came, Indian doctors came, poke him, check him out, they put that thing on to check if there's a heartbeat. To check him out, he's dead. No heartbeat at all, nothing. Completely dead, not breathing, but not decomposing, 1 month. Then after 1 month of sitting in meditation, in death, he did this. Then they removed his body, washed it, put on fresh robes, and cremated it and put it inside a stupa. This is what we're seeing today. You may not see it. It may be hard for you to believe, and I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm trying to tell you these old men in the monastery are very different than old men everywhere. A lifetime of meditation and practice will have some powerful results. Some of the monks have memorized texts this long, this thick. Okay, I've seen this long, this thick, and there's millions of words in there. I can't even remember one page. And they can recite it from memory. And just before they pass away, you know what they say? I will be back. My parents' name will be this. I will be born in this region. I will be born on this time and on this date. And when I'm born, I will recite this from memory to you the minute I can talk. Recognize that person as me when they can do that. There are lamas doing that now who recite it to you from memory, then they die. And then when their incarnations come back, they're about 4 or 5 years old, they can start to speak clearly, they can recite the whole thing from memory, they never looked at it. That's how some High Lamas are reincarnated, reinstated back. I've seen these kind of phenomena. I've seen it. I have no doubt in reincarnation, no doubt. Now, what happens? It happens here too, it's just people don't know how to recognize it. There are ghosts and spirits everywhere. Everywhere. It's just whether you can see them or recognize them and know what to do. They're everywhere. It's like that. Reincarnation's everywhere. It's whether you know how to recognize it. So therefore, in our center, we have a few heart practices that we do. In the beginning, it will be Lama Tsongkhapa, because that was the practice recommended to me by my sacred teachers. When I went to the Dalai Lama's personal monastery 20 years back, I went upstairs, have audience with him, take my ordination, and also go to his private monastery. He had the same tankas of Tsongkhapa hanging in his private monastery called Namgyal Monastery. I was inspired. I said, in the future, I want to have the same tankas. Our main practice is Tsongkhapa. Then for those who are able to aspire and stay and be loyal and stick with the center and really transform, then you will receive this practice. I won't even begin to tell you the mysteries of this practice and the benefits and how incredibly powerful this practice is. You can Google it. You can see my blog. And then, in between, while you're having obstacles and problems, difficulties, in Kichara House, we have one protector. The protector of Ganden Shatse, where I come from, etc. For the last 600 years, from Lama Tsongkhapa till now, Ganden Shatse monastery practices Setra. All the monks practice Setra. Every month they do Setra Puja. All the high lamas, geshis, all do Setra Puja in Ganden. The Setra Puja, all of you are privileged to do here in Kichara is from Ganden. The pujas that you do here are from Ganden. I didn't make up anything. I don't dare make up anything because you know what? 20 years later, you come back to me and say, no result, I'm dead. You guys got to have results. I might as well give you the real stuff. All the pujas you do here is from Ganden Shatse. And we have a group of puja people who are learning traditional pujas like Gyabshi and Shinye Dende and Drocho, very powerful pujas from qualified monks that I invite here to teach. So we have real pujas here that are done exactly the same as in Ganden. My point, what you get in Kichara House is authentic. There's going to be people out there who like it. There's going to be people out there who don't like it. But you know what? It's called life. So everything is authentic. Why? I try to believe that I'm authentic. So I like to give people authenticity. And on top of that, people will travel thousands of miles, hundreds of miles. People will make an effort. So I have a responsibility for their spirituality, and I must give you the real practice. Why? Because you trust me. So trust is not taken lightly. Trust should not be thrown away lightly. Trust should not be accepted lightly. Trust must be rewarded with true practice, true lineage. So in Ganden Shatse, there is no doubt about the practice there. There's no doubt about the abbots and the high lamas and the geshis that I receive teachings from. So therefore, what we learn here, I kind of mold it to suit you guys a little better because I don't think you can learn like the monks there because it's pretty tough, the curriculum. So I kind of mold it to make it easier for you guys. And it's a little more fun, spiked with occasional little jokes here and there because I am funny. But the essence of what I'm telling you is what I learned from my teachers. Unadulterated. Why? Well, if I can sound a little goody-goody, because I respect all of you. Because I respect your intelligence. And people out there can say anything they want about me, about the center, about what we do. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because results will prove the lineage. That's all. So Kichara keeps growing. Who cares what anybody thinks or says? We must be doing something right. You know, I like to throw in a little joke. I was in Bangkok about 10 years back. And I went there without the extra luggage. And I was walking around Bangkok, and you guys might know I'm a Madonna fan. Yes, Tibetan Lamas like music. I'm a Madonna fan. She's my long-lost sister. I'm trying to write her to give you some recognition. I want to wear a T-shirt that says, I love Tsem Rinpoche. She wore I love Kali Minogue once. What? Now, so when I was in Bangkok, I was furious. I was very upset. And I was fuming. Jennifer Lopez that said Madonna can't sing. I had a Jennifer Lopez CD and I gave it away. And I was very unhappy. And then Madonna made a press statement that time. It was for real, you know. You know what she said? When you've sold 120 million albums, come and talk to me. And I was thinking, I'm kind of like Madonna now, Kichara. Okay, never mind. So my point is, later anyway, Jennifer Lopez did apologize and said, sorry, Madonna, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it another way. I was like, yeah, but I did buy her CD again. You put down Madonna, I'm not buying your CD. I don't care if you're Justin Bieber, Fever, whatever you are. Anyway, I'm not into kid music, you know. I'm not into kids. There are a few people who are, though, who listen to kids all day long. What's his name? Justin Fever or Beaver? Okay, now, what's my point? My point is this. The Dharma that I give you is authentic. My method is developed to suit today's people. Modern mentality, lay people, You're not monks. You're not nuns. And hence, I kind of bring it and share it with you another way. When Lord Buddha passed away, the Sangha's council, who was very attained at that time, declared Wesak Day to be the holiest day of the year for practicing Buddhists, those who have taken refuge in the sage, in Buddha. Because it's the day that Buddha took birth, he chose it. It's the day that Buddha became enlightenment, he chose it. It is the same day, 81 years later, that he chose to enter parinirvana. Talk about, wow. Imagine, I'm born October 24th, 1965. So on October 24th, 2020, I become a Buddha. And a mamak stall. So all of you go there at the mamak stall, make offerings of kata to the mamak stall, you paid in gold. Tsem Rinpoche became enlightened in 2020, October 24th. Then in 2040, Tsem Rinpoche passes away October 24th. So Tsem Rinpoche was born on that day, he attained enlightenment on that day, and he dropped dead on that day. He entered parinirvana. And the thing is, when I left my body, I looked back and said, oh, rats. I laid on my left side, not the right. Now, so Buddha chose that. So on this day of all days, it is most auspicious to become a monk or nun. Because it is the day that when Buddha took rebirth, it was a statement. I will not be controlled by samsara anymore. When Buddha attained enlightenment, now I will benefit others. And when Buddha passed away, it was a teaching on strong impermanence. All composite phenomenon will disintegrate. Do not be attached to composite phenomenon that are made up of many, many causes to form a phenomenon. Although it looks permanent, it is not. Hence, if you hold on to the permanence that does not exist, you will create sufferings for yourself. I repeat, if you hold on to composite phenomenon that although to the untrained mind appears permanent, but is not, all sufferings arise from that wrong perception of the phenomenon. The phenomenon doesn't make you suffer. The phenomenon doesn't create suffering. It is your wrong perception of that phenomenon. So hence, one who is enlightened, the perception is cleared. An awakened being. So on this day, if we wish to do auspicious things, do a baptism, which we did earlier, we wish to take vows or give an initiation, or we wish to take vegetarian vows, or we wish to make a donation. I wish to donate my services for 1 year. I wish to donate X amount of money. I wish to donate this for the temple. I wish to do this. I wish to make dana offerings. It's always done on this day because it's extremely auspicious. In Tibet, on Wesak Day, people make grand offerings to the Lama. I have in the past. It's the most auspicious day to create a connection to your Lama. So therefore, on this day, when we take refuge, we are celebrating Buddha Shakyamuni's enlightenment, and we are also celebrating our entrance into the same path. So on this day, when we take refuge, we are celebrating Buddha's enlightenment, and we are celebrating our own entrance into the path of enlightenment. And it's not easy. It could be lonely. It's very difficult because you know why? You're going to have to fight the biggest enemy of your whole life, and that's yourself. That's the biggest enemy. It's yourself. And you know, you may have outside enemies. You know, you may really have outside enemies. But those outside enemies arose is because you didn't fight the inside enemy. So when you take refuge today, you are making an open acknowledgement. I will fight the enemy inside. I will conquer the enemy inside. I will, with time, concentration, focus, and determination, root out the enemy inside. What's the enemy inside? The selfish mind. The mind that wishes to press others down because you're jealous. The mind that wishes to cheat others because you want to jump ahead and live a good life. The mind that wishes to steal someone's partner away. The mind that lies and makes promises that you don't fulfill and disappoints people so much. You know, people always say, oh, I broke my promise. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Stop thinking about how bad you feel because you broke your promise. Think about the people who believed in you and how you had disappointed them. And for you to even think about yourself shows you that the enemy is strong. So therefore, we have today on Refuge, we make an affirmation to Buddha and even more so to ourselves. Today, in the presence of my Lama, a monk, Tsongkhapa, in this prayer hall that's precious and holy and sacred, that only positive activities are carried out, I make a sacred universal promise to myself. I will root out the enemy. I will forgive those who have hurt me. I will forgive those who have disappointed me to tears. I will continuously help people although they have taken advantage of me. I will continuously teach, share, and live the right way although they might be always on the lookout to harm me. Because it isn't about them and you. It isn't about them and me. It's about you and you. I will forgive those who have hurt me, and I will not allow them to hurt me again. Just because I forgive doesn't mean I'll go down there and say, now you can kill me. No, you can avoid those people who won't change and want to harm. You can avoid, but it doesn't mean you need to hold anger towards them. Let it go. And you will forgive those who have disappointed you to the point that you cry and you're hurt and you're disappointed, because every time you do that, you're feeding the enemy inside. Yoda was very good from Star Wars. When you have a lot of anger, it feeds the dark side. A lot of things in Star Wars was taken from Buddhism. If you read it, Yoda's space was based on Sexual Misconduct on the monastery. I read it. And a lot of the philosophies is from Buddhism. Even the part where they have the little munchkins running around, they're reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. What are they called in the forest? Does anybody know? Huh? Ewoks. So they're dancing in the trees, the tree Ewoks. I can hear them. They speak Tibetan, and they're chanting Om Mani Padme Hum. You have to listen carefully, because I read about Star Wars background. Steven Spielberg likes Buddhism quite a lot. Oh, yes. And when Yoda says, feel the anger, be attached, it leads you to the dark side. It's exactly what Buddha said. One's a movie, one's real life. You go and listen to the Ewoks. Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Hey, they speak perfect Tibetan. You do a Google and check where they got that from. Oh, yes. Now, stop talking about Star Wars. You guys, we're taking refuge. What's wrong with you clowns? You don't meet a high Tibetan Lama and talk about Star Wars. Shame, shame. Now, what am I trying to tell you? When you take refuge, it isn't just an empty ceremony. I have the refuge vows. I've held the refuge vows for over 30 years. I took it when I was around 14, 15 from my great teacher in Howell, New Jersey. I retook it again with His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama. I took it again with Kapja Saramji, renewed it. I've held my refuge vows. And today, when I pass you the refuge, after today, you can call yourself a Buddhist. On the refuge vows, on the basis of the refuge vows in the future, you can receive Tantric initiations. Because without the refuge vows, you cannot receive Tantra. And if you've received Tantric initiation before, from me or whoever, you must repair. You should not let it just slide into the corner with cobwebs. You should repair those vows, because the vows are the roots of your attainments. If you take refuge today, and you are, yes, I'm your teacher, yes, I'm your guru, yes, wonderful. That's all very nice, and you can run around wearing, pictures of Tsem Rinpoche, altars of Tsem Rinpoche, and praying to Tsem Rinpoche. You can do all that. That's wonderful, that's fabulous. But if you don't transform yourself, please don't tell me. Don't tell them I'm your guru. As Jesus famously said, a tree is known by its fruit. Very simple. I know, I mix it up. I'm kind of new age. I like it all. I respect all. Listen to a few, but follow one. That's my style. Now, when you take refuge, it's very simple, and it just takes 10 minutes. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And after you do refuge, you guys are going the first action you're going to do is make offerings to the 3 jewels. And I want all of you to make 3 prostrations. If you're 150 years old, if you're paraplegic, you have something wrong with your body, or your knees are out, you can just simply bow. And you bow to Lama Tsongkhapa, and you think, my Guru and all the lineage masters and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are embodied in you. I offer my body, speech, and mind to you. I offer my body to you. In the future, may I get a perfect Buddha body. I offer my speech to you, and in return, I will use my speech to only benefit others. I offer my mind to you. In the future, may I have a mind of compassion, wisdom, skillful means, compassion, and extraordinary strength and tolerance to benefit others. May I get this mind back. I offer my body to you. In return, I want this. I offer my mind to you. In return, I want this. I offer my speech to you, my Lord. In return, I want this. And the ultimate return is, my Lord, I do not wish to worship you on an altar as a god for the rest of my existence. I wish to be just like you, a fully enlightened Buddha. Hence, I will take refuge. And when I take refuge, I will dedicate the refuge merits to my beautiful mother. I will dedicate it to my beautiful father, whether they were beautiful or not. As in my case, my parents abandoned me. But in my mind, I still dedicate merits to them. I'm not talking about physical beauty. Parents aren't perfect. They try to be, but they're not perfect. So therefore, I dedicate my refuge merits to my parents, alive or dead. May my mother and my father always have wonderful rebirth. Always take rebirth in happy, pleasant places and not suffer. I dedicate my refuge merits to my beautiful children, who I would give my life for. May they continue to be wonderful, powerful beings that help others. I dedicate my refuge vows to my beautiful husband, who have stuck by me for years with all my diva fits and all my wants and needs, and kept me in a life of a Tai style. I love my husband. You wish, I know. I dedicate my merits to my beautiful wife, who is still beautiful even after the plastic surgery. And even without the plastic surgery, I dedicate it to my beautiful wife, who has stuck by me, who had beautiful kids with me, who's been with me, who's just put up with everything, put up with me, my ups and downs, my balding head, everything. I dedicate it to my beautiful husband, my wife. And if we're divorcing our husband, I dedicate it to my ex-beautiful husband. If we're divorcing our wife, I dedicate it to my ex-beautiful wife. They still deserve happiness. And I also take the refuge vows today, and I dedicate it to all the people in my life who have done anything kind and good for me that has brought me to where I am. I dedicate it for them. And really, it's very powerful that way. And I also dedicate it for the people that have hurt me and damaged me. Because they made me stronger. They made me work harder. They made me do things that I didn't think I could do. Because they made me stronger. You know, when we have enemies, when people say bad things about you, they put you down, they hurt you, they tear you apart, it really hurts. You know, you go into your room and you just cry. I do. You feel really upset. You know, I take refuge in food when I'm upset. I learned it from Paris. That's what you get for staring at me. And so what happens is, if you think about it carefully, I know they didn't mean to make you stronger. So when Buddhists say, oh, I thank my enemies for making me a better person, and people always ask, but they didn't intend to do that, so how can you thank them? I know they didn't intend to do that. But from your side, you should let go. So my point is you dedicate your merits to them. People asked me on the Facebook a few days ago, Rinpoche, there's this group, there's that group who don't follow the Dalai Lama, who don't follow this guru, who don't follow that. What should I do about them? Should I still be friends with them? And I didn't answer. What is there to answer? You see, if people are sinning and are doing the wrong thing, we don't reject them. We must show them love and compassion, teach them more knowledge. Because the way to turn them around is not by saying, I don't love you anymore. The way to turn them around is by giving them knowledge. So therefore, for your enemies who do harm to others, and you know they do harm and they're harmful, you should dedicate merits. Why? If they have the merits, one day they can transform. Don't you want everybody not to suffer? Maybe not right now. Maybe you want some people to suffer because they get on your nerves. But look, the best Buddhist is the Buddhist who lets go. Don't seek revenge. Don't seek harm. Don't seek to get anyone back. Because ultimately, it's karma. Ultimately. So when we take refuge, what I want you to go home in a short while will be done. When you take refuge, what I want you to remember very strongly, please, if you're 100 years old, if you're 50 years old, or you're young like me, 46, or is it 45? I forgot my age. Anyways, I want you to go home saying, I will fight the enemy within. From today on, after refuge, please, with respect, control your speech. Before you say or do anything, make sure what you say is what you're going to do. I know it's going to be hard sometimes. What you say is what you're going to do, not you just said it to look good for the moment. And what you say is the truth. And what you say is correct to the best of your knowledge at that time. And to whatever you're going to say to others, your wife, your husband, your friends, please make sure it is not tinged with any type of harmful intent. From our speech, we can become a Buddha. From our speech, we can create wars. So whatever you're going to say from your mouth after today's refuge, make sure you check your motivation. Will it harm? Will it damage? Will it hurt anyone? If it will, no matter how difficult it is. You know why? Because you may get the satisfaction at the moment, but the karma will come back and you will get very rough words in the future. You know, sometimes some of us, we have to experience a lot of rough words. We live with people who are very rough, say nasty things to us. What do you think that comes from? It comes from your own mouth in the previous time. You did that to others. Causes resemble results. So why be upset when people say ugly things? You just say, okay, now I know how it feels. I'm not going to do it anymore. Yeah. So if you're living with people who are always saying nasty and horrible things to you, you may be holy schmoly in this life, but in your previous life, maybe you were a monster. Maybe you were Godzilla. So the karma comes back. Nothing arises from nothing. Everything arises from something. There's got to be a cause. So that's how you bear patience. If you got mood swings, it's probably in the past you didn't tell things that were true. So you made people feel up and down with your speech. So you get incredible mood swings because of your own speech. Speech is very powerful. So therefore, when you leave home today, my friends, my students, my compatriots, everything that comes from your mouth. And don't do it for 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Please do it continuously, because with your speech, you will create harmony. You will transform people's minds. You will make people feel comfortable and happy to be around you. You will make people feel excited to meet you. And you will put people, you will release them from being on guard, from being around you, your speech. And then with your mind, very important. After you take refuge, do not kill. Do not intentionally kill in any way, shape, or form. Do not order it to be killed. Oh, I'm a Buddhist, you kill it for me. Why would you want that person to collect negative merit on top of yours? And it doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm a Buddhist, I took refuge, I can't kill. Can you kill him? Sounds a little strange to me. Okay, you don't kill anymore. Really, you don't kill. After you take refuge, you don't steal. And I'm talking about white-collar stealing, normal stealing, pilfering, whatever it is. You go to 7-Eleven, oh, I'm short of money, let me steal that cupcake. Never mind, it's for my Dharma practice. No. You don't do stealing in any way. Stop. After you take refuge, no, okay, I'm going to say it, get excited, get ready, sexual misconduct. What does sexual misconduct mean? I have a word for sexual because I'm a little uncomfortable sitting on the high throne like this, saying that word. You make me uncomfortable. You're all staring at me like this. You're making me very uncomfortable. You all should go like this. How can he say like that? You're not. You're all like this. Paris is like. So I'm not going to use that word anymore because you're making me very uncomfortable. I have my own word for that word, and it's bubbly. So no bubbly misconduct. What's that? It's very simple. You don't cheat on your wife. But can I cheat when I'm away because she doesn't know? It wouldn't hurt her. You know why I say that? I've had hundreds of people come and tell me they're confessing they're cheating on their wife, and is it bad that she doesn't know? Well, you can go and steal from 7-Eleven. They don't know. Is that bad karma? Just because they don't know doesn't mean it's bad karma. Doesn't come whether they know or not. It comes from your act, your intent. Well, is it okay if I just keep one mistress and not 4? Well, I don't know what to do. I really love my kids, I love my wife, and I love my mistress. Why can't I have both? Is there a puja? Yeah, people ask me that. They sit in front of me and they ask me, is there a puja they can have their mistress and their wife and their kids won't disrespect them because they found out they have a mistress? Can I do a puja? Is there a mantra? And I said, you want me to give you a mantra to commit more negative karma? What, make you invisible man? Make your mistress invisible? They ask me that. You think it's a joke? I've been teaching Dharma for 20 years and I've met all types of clowns bigger than me. They come in with all kinds of questions. Nobody says, hey, Rinpoche, how can I develop real compassion? Or I've developed this level of compassion, what's the next step? They always say, hey, I get married or not? So, wrong person. Wrong person to ask. So, what am I trying to say? No sexual misconduct. Oh. You got me to say it again because you guys are all excited. Stop it. This Ngao was so excited. Ngao was like this earlier. When I said that word, he went. Pastor Ngao, yeah, right. Okay, so bubbly. Bubbly misconduct means what? To force someone. To do it at inappropriate times when they're in pain, when they don't want to. For ladies, when they're pregnant, when they're having menses, you don't disturb them, you respect their body functions. That's what it says. And if you have some kind of weird diseases, you don't pass it to other people. Live it up, I'm going to die anyways. No. You don't cheat on your husband. Well, never mind, my husband's 100 years old, he won't care anyways, whatever. You keep yourself a little toy boy. No. You can only achieve this through meditation. Where when your face is here, your neck is there. And when your face is there, your neck is there. Only by you want to wait. You guys can't do it. What? Powerful stuff, huh? Only a Rinpoche can do this. And Lu. Okay, now. Well, can I rape somebody? In a relationship, what's necessary is mutual respect because you accept them. In a relationship, you need to let your partner win. You let your wife and husband win. In a relationship, you need to listen to what the other person needs and wants and be sensitive and stop arguing to win. Because when you're alone and separated, you lose. And if you're going to hook up with somebody, wife and husband, whatever partner, if you're going to hook up, make it the best time you can make it with them because it doesn't last. Respect. So, Bobali misconduct is that after you take refuge. It doesn't mean you cannot have Bobali, and I didn't tell you you can go and have Bobali. Okay, I didn't say any of that. Don't cut this part of the video and play it on somewhere else. They see what he's saying. They do that to me. You know, they go on my YouTube videos, they cut out a part of what I say, and then they put it there saying, see, Rinpoche's like that. And I'm like, but could you play the whole tape? They do that to me. That's what happens when you're famous. I tweeted Madonna and she understands. I didn't tweet Guy Ritchie because he hurt her. Okay, now. No lying. Lying can be intentional. Lying can be without saying lie. Did you take that apple and you keep quiet? You keep quiet. And so when you don't answer, you're not lying. But if you're letting them know that you didn't take it, that's your intention, you lied. Okay, there are different types of lying. There's a lying when someone asks you, they're 500 kgs, they haven't washed in a year, and they're dead. They ask you, is that person beautiful? You're like, yes. I mean, that's not lying. That's saving someone's feelings. Lying is when you have an intent to say something wrong to hurt. Okay, a deer runs that way. The hunter chases. Which way did the deer go? That way? Is that lying? No. Because your intent is not to harm. Now, don't twist that around to all kinds of different things, you guys. You guys are very sneaky. All kinds of weird scenarios. You know what lying is. You know what lying isn't. Now, come. From lying, you can make your life short. From lying, you can make people mistrust you. And from lying, you create the causes to become extremely lonely in the future. Okay? The best you can. If you're a serial liar, cut it down. Get help. Therapy, medicine, medication, meditation. Get tape, put it over your mouth. If you're a serial liar, you got to work on it. Then, after you take refuge, no divisive speech. Hey, did you hear her? She got her double eyelid done. But don't tell anybody I told you, And then when your friend shows up, she's like this. Nobody told me you had double eyelid. I figured it out on my own. No divisive speech. To talk this way, talk this way, talk this way, talk this way, to make people separate. Because you're jealous, because you're not happy, because you want what they have. Don't create divisive speech. Divisive speech is one of the most powerful ways to create unhappiness. Be the peacemaker. Be the peacemaker. Then, no hurtful speech. Speech, as I mentioned earlier, that is intent on damaging the other person. Why would you want to damage anyone? You've been hurt. People have hurt you. People have disappointed you. People have hit you in a place that's very sensitive. Did you enjoy it? I didn't. Did you feel good? How did you feel about that person? How did you feel yourself? If you didn't like what you felt, why would you want to do that to someone else? Hurting another person or another being because you were hurt doesn't take the hurt away, and it also doesn't make the hurt better. If you're hurting, go do charity work. If you're hurting, go heal people. If you're hurting, do something beneficial for others. That's how you might heal or find some peace. Hurting others because you're hurt or hurting doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you become worse and the pain becomes bigger. And it might be instant satisfaction that you have the power to hurt someone. But you know what? Power can be taken away very fast. So therefore, if you have been hurt and you felt the pain, please always reflect on that in your meditations. Don't hurt other people. Don't say things that will ruin them. Don't say things that will break their heart. Don't say things that will disappoint them and make them feel no self-worth. Don't say and do things because you're jealous or you want to get past them. Don't do that. We have enough suffering in our life. We have enough problems in our life. Why make more? Use your speech in a way that brings another person happiness. And always speak the truth, and whatever you say, do it. It's more important to suffer doing it and fulfilling what you said than to suffer later when people have lost respect for you. Do it. Then after you take refuge, holding wrong views, or wanting wrong views, or hiding behind wrong views in order for your own lazy convenience. Because you don't want to transform, because you don't want to make a difference, because you don't want to make it better, because you don't want another person to win. So you hold on to wrong views just for the sake of argument, just for your lazy convenience, just for your comfort zone. We shouldn't do that. We should study the Dharma. If we're a Christian, study the Bible, study the Quran, study the Bhagavad Gita, whatever your religious denomination is. Study that well and put it in your mind. You don't have to run around being a religious fanatic. I'm baptized, I'm saved, I can do anything I want now. No. I took refuge with His Eminence Tsem Tulku Rinpoche, and he's a living Buddha. Now I can do anything I want. I don't think so. After you've taken refuge, you know what's the right way to go, if I may share? More humble, more humility, more acceptance, more learning, more tolerance for others and yourself. That's the way to go after refuge. You want to be a Buddhist? I'm teaching you what a Buddhist means. People say, oh, Buddhist is a philosophy. They don't believe in a God, therefore it's not a religion, it's a philosophy. You know what? Whatever works. Whatever works to make you a better person, we don't need labels. You want to believe it's a religion? Fine. You want to believe it's a philosophy? Fine. As long as you're a good person that makes everyone around you happy and you fulfill your commitments, that's all anybody's asking. So what's important here is not a philosophical debate. What's important is after refuge, more humility. Please study the Dharma more and practice the Dharma. Make peace, forgive, become a better person. Not immediately, with time. After refuge. Attend classes. Do pujas to remove your inner obstacles. Inner obstacles are more worse than outer obstacles. And then watch your mind grow and become better year after year after year. And see the people around you that you bring peace and happiness to. Then you are a true Buddhist. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter. And whether you have an elaborate altar at home and you do hours of mantras, the real mantra is battling the enemy within. Every single day, every single moment. Do not be lazy. Push yourself to achieve. Whatever you say, do what you have said. Don't make people chase you and remind you. And always be honorable. Why should you be honorable? Because if you're not, you make people suffer. You make people unhappy. That's not what religion's all about. Religion shouldn't make other people unhappy. If they twist it around and use it in the wrong way, they can make people unhappy saying it's religion, but it's not religion. I've made a lot of mistakes, but it's not because I'm Buddhist. I made it because I made the mistakes. So therefore, After Refuge, I would recommend all of you, if you don't have a personal sadhana yet, a sadhana is a transformational meditation. After Refuge, I would request with all humility and enthusiasm to do the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa every single day, because all 84,000 teachings of Buddha are contained in the Guru Yoga. What mantra should you recite? Tsongkhapa's Miktsema. Recite it well. It contains the energy of skillfulness, wisdom, and great compassion. And it's the mantra recommended. The Dalai Lama praises Miktsema mantra so much. Panchen Lama wrote so much on it. Recite the Miktsema daily. Well, when you see animals, recite it. Blow it. When you see animals, blow it on them. Recite it. Let them hear. Plant the seeds of Dharma in their mind. You don't have to do 3 hours of meditation a day. You can do 10, 15 minutes, quality, to transform your mind. Check. And when you're reciting Miktsema, please don't think about the sexy lady that just walked by. Oops, there I go again. Don't think about that nice, handsome man walking by. Don't think about the vegetarian burger you're going to have a Kichara oasis after this. After you take refuge, do Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga every day. And when you come to the part of Miktsema, do a contemplation on all the people who've been kind to you in your whole life until tears stream down your face and you wish to repay their kindness. And recite Miktsema according to the meditation I already taught. It's on YouTube. And do the dissolution. If you like and you have time and you really want to make your practice totally complete, okay, totally, you really want to be like a Tibetan monk, then after Miktsema, after the dissolution of Guru Yoga Tsongkhapa, you do Satrap's praise by the 5th Dalai Lama. And you do his black tea. You do, his mantra. I'm burping because I drank a lot of Coke that you didn't have. Anyways, then you do a black tea to Satrap. And if you have extra obstacles, just the phrase to Satrap, you do extra. And you don't pray to Satrap, remove my enemies, destroy them. You took refuge, remember? Make my ex-wife lose and pay for it, make my ex-husband learn, make his mistress die. No. You don't do that. If you went for an operation, went wrong, make my operation right. Just go to a new doctor lah. Now what you should do is, if you want to make your practice really complete, you do Satrap. And you know what? The next year, there's this protector with 4 arms. He's fabulous. He's wonderful. He has 2 horses. Even more powerful. Buy Satrap. Hello, new Satrap. No. Once you stick to it, once you start it, you go all the way. Don't jump. You can change restaurants except for vegetarian restaurants. You can change your clothes. You can change your hair. Right, Ethan? You look like Dato Mei, except the hair is forward. She's got the same hairstyle and color, but it's back. Yours is forward. What, you guys went to the same place? I think the guy at the salon did a rush job. Dato was here, Ethan was here like, oh, wait. Okay, no, he's cute. He's a nice boy. Nice boy. Works very hard most of the time. Anyway, do the Satrap. Remember, my friends, these are practices I brought from the monastery. 1, 2, 3. They may look a little exotic and strange to you, but these are practices I brought from the monastery from 600 years of tradition, Tsongkhapa's own practices. All the high lamas and monks are practicing. If these 3 deities are good enough for them, they're more than good enough for you. You guys understand? You may not know it fully, learn. So you do your practice every single day. And if you're sick, then you recite Miktsema and blow it on your medicine. And visualize Tsongkhapa dissolving into your medicine. And then take it. It will be very effective. If you feel negative energy in your house, or you feel some bad influences, or you see some hantus walking around your house, and yes, the hantu is not your husband, it's a real hantu. You just do black tea, and you blow Om Maya Chatsa Soha. You visualize light clearing the place. Then you'll be fine. Do your Satrap in your office, in your home, in your place, any place you don't feel comfortable. Some people are quite sensitive. I'm not trying to raise some superstition or fears here, okay? You know, most Chinese people, they have cheng beng. You know, you bring all your stuff to the cemetery to make offerings to the dead, the deceased. Whether they get it or not, I don't know, but it's a respect to your lineage. That's beautiful. It's respect. It's Chinese respecting where they came from. Nobody has the right to say whether it works or not. But sometimes the cemetery has powerful energy. Before you go, you do a little black tea to set up and you blow your mantra. Om Maya Chataso, Om Maya Chataso. No, that's not me, that's the fan. It's making me bigger. Now, before you go there, you can blow. You visualize red light around you and go. And then you know all those funny things at the cemetery, like, woo. They won't do anything to you. Or if you're going on a long trip or a long journey, you know, like far away, who knows, you know, you're on the plane. So what you should do is you do your mantra, you do it first. So at least when the plane goes, maybe in the plane you go, oh my yacha. It could happen. It could happen. Then if you have your father, he's going, oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make a joke. If he's going senile, recite Miktama for him. Every time you see your beautiful father who's going a little off, I mean, some people, you know, have dementia even before they're old. Anyways, you can recite blow on your beautiful father. May my father always have peace. It's powerful. You see, the spirit of Buddhism is to benefit others as much as possible, to respect others, to tolerate. This is the spirit of real Buddhism. And Buddhists should practice that. So after you've taken refuge, I want all of you to do Lama Tsongkhapa Sadhana, short one. Some of you are already doing long mantras and a lot of mantra, all this and this. How do I fit it in? How? Oh, what's another 10 minutes left? Stick it in. What else are you doing? Just sit there eating potato chips. And do your setra. And if there's somebody in your house who's not happy with your alternate practice, never mind, don't force it there. So sorry, and just do your practice inside. Very powerful. And very powerful, come do setra together, because in the monastery, once a month for 2 whole days, from 5 a.m. in the morning to 11 p.m. at night, they do all-day setra pujas for 2 days, every single month in Gandhin Shatse for the last 600 years. I attended those pujas. We sit there, all day, 10, 12 hours doing setra puja and meditations. And they blow the long horns. They play the cymbals. You just sit there like, oh my God, wow. And then you look at the monks next to you, you think he's taking trance, but actually he fell asleep. Anyways, no, I'm the only one that fell asleep. Those monks didn't fall asleep. You do that in the monastery. Okay? So that's what I would request. And please, I don't want to force my views on you. Try to be vegetarian as much as possible after refuge. As much as possible. If anything, for your health. If anything. And save the lives of animals. And if you can, join one of the 13 departments to volunteer and help on a regular basis. Don't go inside the center and go, oh my God, that person's weird, this person's weird, that person, I don't like, I'm gonna leave. Actually, when you meet weird people, when you meet bad people, when you meet funny people, you should be even more inspired to practice Dharma deeper. People think, oh, I don't like this, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna go someplace else because I don't like it. That's wrong. You see, you don't go to a hospital and say, everybody's sick, so I'm not coming here. Of course they're sick, it's a hospital. Same thing in a Dharma center, people are sick. So of course you're going to have all kinds of people in Dharma center. So if you come across strange people, don't use that as an excuse to cover your laziness and then run and don't do something. It should inspire you to do more. Bodhisattvas and high practitioners look at the sufferings of others and feel energized. And they come up with more ways, more ideas, more methods, more enthusiasm, more passion to find a new way to bring Dharma to people. Bodhisattvas. It's a sign of a bodhisattva. Real bodhisattvas and real practitioners and real aspirants of enlightenment, real ones. In fact, when they see people suffering, they see people creating problems and difficulties and trouble, instead of feeling down forever, they feel down for the moment, and then they go back to the drawing board and think what other ways they can bring Dharma to other people. What other methods? What ways have they not explored to bring Dharma to others? In fact, it fuels their passion. It fuels their enthusiasm. And it burns inside of them to bring Dharma to others even more. Because how can they let even one person suffer? How can they let one person be abandoned? So a real bodhisattva, a high incarnation, a high being, a being who has the qualities of life after life, of wishing to benefit others, who really activate Shantideva's prayer, are passionate with ideas, always never lethargic, never lazy, never sit back and just let the world ride by. They are, in fact, even more enthusiastic because they will find one way or another to reach you. Because that's what they were born for. That's what you and I should aspire to. Instead of looking at the sufferings of others and the degeneration of others and some problems that others create, instead of feeling down, please feel up. Because if you don't do something, they will suffer more. Real spiritual practitioners of any religion, like Mother Teresa, the more suffering she saw, I read her book and I saw her movie in America. The more she saw suffering, the more she was enthusiastic. In the end, she admitted, it was in Time magazine, I didn't feel God, I didn't see God, I didn't hear God, I don't even know if God exists. I have a lot of doubts about God. She admitted, did anybody see that in Time magazine? But I didn't lose faith in mankind, she said. I didn't lose faith in suffering. And that's what kept me going all these years. Mother Teresa said that. How honest and how pure. What a bodhisattva. So when Mother Teresa saw the sufferings in Calcutta, it pushed her to do more. She didn't sit back and go, oh my God, how do I do this? And she was just a small, teeny little nun who had the energy of 1,000 super Buddhas. So therefore, never complain that you go to a Dharma center, you don't like this person, they treated you this way, they were rude, they talked to you like that, they didn't show you respect. Oh, they didn't do the accounts correct, they didn't do this correct, they didn't do that correct. Stop running around after Refuge looking for faults. How can I help? How can I make it better? And be enthusiastic to find a method to reach others. Because if you don't, they may not have any other hope. Do you have some kind of strange savior complex? No. But you're a good human being. If you see a dog starving on the street, how can you drive by without giving him some food? How could you? How could you? So therefore, when you see that people work so hard, oh, so hard, I cannot take it. I got to go to bed by 9:30 because I'm a princess. Push yourself to go to bed at 9:45 for the 1 month, and then 10 o'clock, then 11 o'clock. Help. So when you see something wrong in a center, when you see something wrong at home, when you see something wrong at school, when you see something wrong in office, let that, as a true blue Buddhist, motivate you to do more, to find a method, to find a way. Never be disheartened by suffering. Never be disappointed by other people's wrong actions. Never, ever let one person go. It's possible. Because that's how we become a Buddha. That's how we become an enlightened being. You don't start acting like an enlightened being when you're enlightened. You act like an enlightened being before you become enlightened to become an enlightened being. Never, ever let your disappointment rule your life. Because if you let it, then you've destroyed your precious human life. Let all the suffering, the pain, the lies, the intrigues, and all the politics around you fuel you to find new ways to benefit others. And then you would have lived your life beautifully. And then you would die beautifully. And then you will be respected because you deserve it. And then you would have influenced others. And then you would have used your life for something with a higher purpose than just eating, sleeping, procreating, and that's it. Never lose your passion. to bring benefit to others. And find hundreds of ways, hundreds of ideas, hundreds of methods, hundreds. No matter what you have to do, you will have a determination. As long as sentient beings suffer, may I remain. Don't pray to go to a pure land. Don't pray to go to Vajrayaogini's paradise. Don't pray to escape suffering. Don't pray to leave everybody behind and you go to the pearly gates and you go to someplace beautiful and everybody suffers and that's Dharma. Amitabha, can I go to the Western paradise alone? Never mind them. Pray to stay in samsara. Pray to remain with people. Pray to absorb people's sufferings. Pray and wish and make an aspiration to absorb people's sufferings, absorb their ignorance, absorb their wrong thinking, and you may pass over your merits and wisdom to them. Pray to remain in suffering for them. And then your prayers will be real. People will pray for luck, for fortune, long life, happiness, health, nice girlfriend, nice boyfriend, a trip to the Bahamas, win the 4D, get a bigger car. That's not prayer. That's just aspirations of a selfish person. Prayer is when you go deep inside of you and reach something that nothing else has reached. The real you, kindness and compassion. That's what Refuge is about. I repeat, and then we're going to do Refuge, and then we're done. I repeat to all of you with much respect, never let suffering bring you down. Never let your own mistakes bring you down. Never let your own laziness and your selfishness say, well, that's the way I am. No. Because if you don't like the way you are now, why would you like yourself 10 years later if you continue this method? Never be satisfied with suffering. Do something. So when the next person who's rude to you in the center, instead of walking out going, you go, thank you. Even if you don't mean it yet. Because that's what spiritual practice is all about. Don't be turned off by suffering. Don't pray to escape. Don't pray to leave samsara. Pray to become fully enlightened and remain. Don't pray for your selfish escapes. Whether there's a heaven or not, let's not talk about it right now, but there's an existence right now, and that's developing the strong mind. So, for Refuge, you should think that your Lama has taken on the form of Lama Tsongkhapa. Whether your Lama is Lama Tsongkhapa or not doesn't matter. Think that Lama Tsongkhapa's blessings coming through your Lama. Think that your Guru, your Lama, your preceptor, your pastor, I'm your pastor right now, is Lama Tsongkhapa. White in color with a tinge of red representing great compassion combined with great bliss. In the Dharma chakra wheel. Teaching the Dharma, transmitting the Dharma. Because when we pray to Lama Tsongkhapa, take refuge in Lama Tsongkhapa, the first benefit is the Dharma will be understood better because his main function is to give us wisdom. Wisdom. Visualize from this hand here, a lotus opening, and there's a sword on top, representing the sword of penetrative insight. It's not a real sword. You know, we're not some communists here. And then on this side is a lotus. That Lama Tsongkhapa is in long life form. He's like that. So that one, the hand, just think like that. He's moving. Anybody see it move? That's because it didn't move. Some people are like, if it moves, it's automated. Really, some people are like, I'm not disappointed. And then he's sitting in a lotus posture, which represents he became a Buddha not by sitting around eating potato chips, doing nothing, and protesting how difficult Dharma is. He practiced his whole life and became a Buddha. He wears a yellow pendant hat, representing all learning to be learned in samsara he has mastered. There is no more learning. He has reached the highest point, full enlightenment. He's wearing the robes of a monk, representing to us we should hold our refuge vows very well. Think that Lama Tsongkhapa is sitting in the middle of Ganden Monastery, surrounded by thousands of monks, and you're facing Lama Tsongkhapa. On your left side, is your beautiful mother, whether she is alive or passed away, doesn't matter. On your left side is your beautiful mother. On your right side is your beautiful father, whether he was beautiful or not, doesn't matter. He could have been a drunk, a poker player, and jumped off the hill and Genting, it doesn't matter. He gave you life. You owe him something. So your beautiful father on your right, your beautiful mother on your left. And behind you are the friends and relatives and people who like you, who support you, who think you're good, who tell you you look good although you don't. They're behind you. And then in front of you are all the people you hate, that get on your nerves, that told you you look old, that told you you're fat. Oh God, I got so many of them. You should see my visualization in front. It's packed. It's bigger than this room. I put all the people who told me I was fat in front. It doesn't bother me. See? Now, all the people that disturb you, why? Because they're the ones that need more wisdom. They're the ones that need more love and special attention. They're the ones that need help. So give them the help. Then, surrounding you is all the animals in the world, all the spirits and all the hungry ghosts and all the hell beings and the God realms. They're all in the form of humans looking at Lama Tsongkhapa, taking refuge. And when you take refuge, they take refuge with you. And then when you take refuge, you repeat the words after me. I know some of you want to show off your knowledge. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha, Namo Gurube, Namo Buddha. After your Lama. Some people like that, I know a mantra. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo. After the Lama, don't be a big show off. I'm the Lama, I'm the star here. And I know some of you think, what's that big talk about humility for the last 3 hours? I am humble. It's just that you have to recognize I'm a star. You don't get to see the star every day. It's so lucky you can be in the same room with me, breathing the same air. See, I just want to make sure you guys are awake. Now, what a very pretty door girl, huh? She's very sweet. She opens the doors for everybody back in the... No, it's okay. Relax, lah. Not you, her. That one's like Mia. Ego. Okay, now, that's the visualization. And the refuge is this. I accept the Buddha. The second time, I accept the Dharma. When you say I accept the Buddha, it means that I can become a Buddha. You accept yourself. The second time is I accept the Dharma. I will practice the Dharma. The third time, I take refuge in the Sangha and all beings who do positive actions. On the third time, you should think, I've taken refuge. And from henceforth, I will practice the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. I am a Buddhist. People ask you, what are you? You say, I'm a Buddhist. Some of you in this room may be here just for the lecture. You don't have to take refuge. Just because you're sitting here doesn't mean you take refuge or you take anything. No, it's free will. And just because you don't take refuge doesn't mean you're bad people. No. So don't feel nervous. So after refuge, you should think, I'm a Buddhist now. And the first action of a Buddhist is to fight the enemy within. That's the first action. Then after you take refuge, then my assistants will direct you. You make offerings to Lama Tsongkhapa. That's your first action, like a new child. And then please be confirmed that you have taken refuge. Hold your vows. It's for life. It's not switchable. It's not returnable. You don't get a rebate. You don't get a discount. And you don't get a refund. Once you take refuge, that's it. I don't care what other person can throw water at you. You're baptized, this, that. No, once you're refuge, that's it. It's just stuck. Because you don't play with your spirituality. And some of you who have taken refuge and maybe slipped a little bit on your vows, today you retake refuge to renew your vows. Dear Rinpoche, sorry I broke up the bubbly misconduct, I broke up lying, I broke up on stealing and covetousness, and I was nasty and I used my mouth in horrible ways. Sorry I broke every vow, I repair it today. Yeah, repair. And some people think, oh, if I break my vows, then hallelujah, I don't have to hold them anymore. It's broken what? No. If you break your vows, it's for that day. It's not for the next day. So don't just think that just because you broke your vow, you're free. The next day, and the next day you hold your vow. Example, if you miss a meal today, well, you never eat again now. Trust me, I don't believe that. I missed a meal, I make up for it. No way. I mean, if you miss, how can you? No lah. So, and people use that excuse. They think, well, I forgot it today. I didn't do it, so I don't have to do it anymore. No, what? No, not like that. Not like that. Okay, so be good little Buddhists. Practice, learn, do charity work. And most important, whatever you commit, whatever you say you're going to do it. Okay? I will take 3 teeny little questions, nothing too difficult because I'm not very smart.
Dear Rinpoche, my question is, what's the quality to take a refuge?
What's the
Quality of a person to take a refuge.
What's the quality of a person
What
to take?
quality you should have, then you can take a refuge.
Oh, you need to be rich. You need to be rich, and you need to bribe me, so I'll give you the vows.
Okay.
Or you can just, send me a TT, and then I can build my temple. Or you can just give me the temple, Bill. I don't need the money. So, rich. No. The qualities of a person to take refuge is someone who says, you know what? I really want to make a difference in my life, and I want to move on further, and I want to take this commitment to push me, to motivate me, to inspire me to do more. Simple as that. You don't have to be extra compassionate, extra wonderful, extra fabulous. You don't have to be anything. You just have to be sincere. Okay? Sincere. Any other questions? Yes.
Your Eminence, I would like to know why I often get very emotional, as in tears, when I listen to your talk or
Because
DVD.
I'm a Buddha. I'm a Buddha, and you're listening to a Buddha, and you have the third eye to see it. That's why you're emotional. Go on. What else? You want to know why you're emotional when you listen to my teachings?
Yes.
Because perhaps you're a very good person inside, and I'm saying something that touches something very deep inside of you that you know it's true, and you want to do more. And maybe you feel a little guilty you didn't do as much as you should have. And also, you would like to start, but you still have your attachments that's stopping you. All those emotions mixed up, and it makes you cry because you're being honest with yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Questions? Last question? Last teeny bit little question? Nothing too hard. I told you I'm not too bright. Oh.
Rinpoche, under certain circumstances, sometimes when we have to tell some white lies. Is that called a lie?
I just told you it's not a lie because you're not intending to hurt. It's okay. Sometimes I tell white lies too. I tell myself every day I'm skinny. I do. I look in the mirror and I say, I'm losing weight, I better eat more. No. Honestly speaking, sometimes we have to tell little white lies. And I want you to know that after Refuge, you don't need to be perfect, because you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We just try to be the best we can and push ourselves. Don't be comfortable with just what we've achieved. Do more. That's the purpose. Okay? You don't need to be perfect. In Lama Tsongkhapa's tradition, humility is the key word. We don't talk about our psychic abilities if we have them. We don't tell people about our psychic abilities. We don't explain about our psychic abilities. And trust me, many, many monks in Ganden have psychic abilities that will blow your mind. But they will always tell you they don't have. They will always tell you not to focus. Because true spiritual power is not about clairvoyance or psychic abilities. True spiritual practice is compassion. How much you do for others, how much you have done for others is a measure of your spirituality. If you have done not much for others, no matter what psychic power you have, it's of no use. At the time of death, you lose that power. So therefore, from Ganden Hajima, Guru Yoga of Tsongkhapa, and Miktsema, you can definitely develop extraordinary experiences. You can definitely develop vipassana, or clarity of the mind. You can definitely improve your memory. You can definitely remember things even when you were very young as you go on. Some of you in the past, in the future, also can start recalling previous lives. if you do Miksama well. Nobody understands the incredible blessings that Miksama has. But let me, again, respectfully tell everyone, never talk about psychic powers. Never explain or show off or say you have in any way. Always remain humble. Always remain simple. Even the Dalai Lama, who is the highest Tibetan monk, who is very accomplished, always tells people, I'm a simple Buddhist monk. He doesn't run around telling people he has psychic powers or this. If he doesn't, that's an example we follow if we follow Lama Tsongkhapa. I don't know about other people. I don't know about other traditions, other schools. They have their own beautiful, correct ways. But in Lama Tsongkhapa's tradition, in Ganden Monastery, humility is a sign of spiritual power. Humility is a sign of spiritual accomplishments. Humility is a sign your ego is becoming less. Okay? So when you do the Miksema practice continuously over and over, into the millions, you will get experiences. Some of you will see some of your problems healing. Some of you, you'll see your anger become less. Some of you, you'll see negative energies disperse. Some of you will see that animals like you more. Some of you will see that you accept things better. Some of you might remember or recall previous lives. Some of you might find it easier to forgive people. Some of you in the future might even be able to blow on an object, put it on people and help them to heal. It is possible through Miksema. I kid you not. It is possible. So if you take Lama Tsongkhapa as your yidam, and you hold it very strongly, and you recite Miksema daily, and well, make it a commitment, incredible benefits can arise. But whatever benefits arise, as it was instructed to me by my teachers, remain humble. Never reveal, never talk. The objective of spirituality is to benefit others. No matter how much power, money, prestige, and influence you have, if you've done not much to benefit others, it's just talk. And talk doesn't help anyone. I do not say this to you in disrespect, or to put you down, or to assume. No, I'm telling you this is part of Miksema's practice. Be humble. And show your spiritual power by your compassion and your compassion in action. And then you'll be very happy. It's been a great pleasure to spend some time with you and share a little bit of Dharma. I don't know if this is the right word, but I've enjoyed myself tremendously. And I'm very happy to see all of you listening, absorbing, contemplating. I thank you for that. Because every time you listen to the Dharma, every time you contemplate, there will be a shift. And when there's a shift, from that shift, you can shift someone else's life for the better. And that's the whole purpose of life. Hold your vows very well. It's on the back of this card. You will slip from time to time because you are not perfect. I am not perfect. None of us are perfect. But when we slip, let's get up and continue. Do your Lama Tsongkhapa very well. Do your Miksema very well. You don't need a lot of practices. You don't need a lot of mantras. You don't need a lot of things. You just need a very good one. You need one that you follow. What makes it good is not the mantra, it's your consistency. And no matter what sufferings come, difficulties, disappointments come, be spiritual and don't let it bring you down for long. Find a beautiful, effective, skillful way, no matter how long it takes you, to help the other. Make that very strong in your mind. Remember, as long as space endures, as long as suffering beings endure, may I always exist to serve them. Think about that very strongly.